Greetings, brothers and sisters. Epic 2-hour comment video. I spelled comment wrong. Did I? Yeah. There's me correcting. This didn't go as planned. I couldn't read the title, and I spelled the title wrong. And so this is on my apocalaughsnow channel. I put a link in the top of the description box to this video because many people wanted to, they mentioned they wanted to see the epic 2-hour comment video. And it isn't quite 2 hours, I thought it was, but 1 hour and 56-minute comment video. And so it's loaded with stuff, and it's on my apocalaughsnow channel. And so I'll, I'm going to make it public right now, even as we speak. And it's being released on the other channel, apocalaughsnow. And so, yeah. And so I got other stuff to cover here, but I wanted people to know that this video is on the other channel. Greetings, brothers and sisters. One of my viewers sent me this. So you have JoJo Magoo, our President JoJo Magoo. Somebody put him behind a high-speed electrical vehicle in Michigan, and he, this is how that all went. Mr. President, he pulls in trying to look cool like JoJo do.
Mr. President!
This sucker's quick.
How's it drive? Mr. President, can I ask you a quick question on Israel before you drive away?
No, you can't. Not unless you get in front of the car as I step on it.
It's a joke. If Trump said this, the media would go, like, ballistic, right? If Trump said, only if you let me run you over with my experimental electrical car, the media would have went crazy. And they don't. They actually slobber all over JoJo here. But this shows you a hidden desire on his part. And why, the media just gave him such unfair treatment. The media gave him preferential treatment over Trump and has given him, kid gloves all along, right? I mean, the guy's a disaster, all of his sniffling, groping, creepy ways and things like this. And he verbalizes a desire, even if he's joking, that he wants to run over one of these reporters. Doesn't seem fair. Looking at you, Lebron, because that's Lebrons is coming up. That's our president right there. That's JoJo Magoo.
I'm only teasing.
He's only teasing, right? He's only teasing. JoJo's a big teaser, but here's the big part here.
Okay, here we go. You ready?
See it, sir.
You ready?
Fantastic, right? Fantastic. He drove a car. Fantastic, JoJo. You peed in the potty, JoJo Magoo. Fantastic, JoJo. Way to go. Way to pee in the potty, right? This guy, he drooled on himself. Way to go, Mr. Magoo, President Magoo, right? Like just how much they slather all over this guy. So remember when I talked about Lebron James like 2 days ago? The next day he was in a basketball game with the Phoenix Suns, and he did some more acting, and he was called out by another NBA player. And I want to get into why this is bad. I'm going to, I have a whole thing to do on this, right? So it says Lakers Vogel, who's the coach, calls Chris Paul's foul on LeBron dangerous and overly aggressive. And there was something else that went on, and there was a fight that kind of broke out like an NBA fight, not a real one, at the same time. So let's get into it here. So here's LeBron James, and here's Chris Paul. They're friends. Chris Paul is the head of the Players Union, so he has pull. These are two veteran guys, perennial all-stars. And LeBron James is shooting a free throw, and Chris Paul is going to come in to box him out, which is, something that happens for the rebound. And he's going to kind of undercut LeBron, which isn't cool. Like, that's not a cool play. He goes low on his legs, and, it's not a great thing. But LeBron, overacts and tries to make it into something it isn't. So it starts right here, right? He's boxing him out, and he's going low because he's a smaller guy. So he has a lower center of gravity. LeBron is twice his size, so he needs to get some leverage here.
James missing again.
And James, again, exaggerates his fall.
And at the foul line, a whistle. James goes down hard.
A lot of the NBA players are adopting this. This is something to do in soccer, right? Where they exaggerate getting hurt so they can get, in soccer, it's some sort of like yellow card or red card, get the guy thrown out of a game. They exaggerate it, and it just sucks, right? Nobody's paying to see this. Nobody wants to see this acting. It, wrecks the game in many ways. I'm going to come back to that. So then a fight breaks out because of something happened over here. That's not really that important. But then they're going to show it again in slow motion. But after the fight breaks out, here, I'll mute this. Shows LeBron James still holding his shoulder, right? Bending down. I'm so hurt. Guys, help me. Bends down. Oh, my God. I might have to go to the fucking hospital. Please help me, right? And he's not really hurt. He goes back in the game, right? So he's got to go down one knee. It's so painful. Like, they do this over and over again, and he's the worst. And it's just, it's pathetic. It wrecks the game. These guys are still dealing with the, sort of semi-fight. But here it is from a different angle. So he shoots the shot. Chris Paul's going to come in here and box him out. You can see. All right, so he's coming in, and this is a legal play so far. He comes in, and LeBron has his arm here. They're like hooking arms. So they're both doing, and then LeBron's going to jump up, and then he's going to, like, what's he doing here? Like, he's been pushed so hard, he's flying out of the thing. You can see he's acting, right? Then he puts his arms up. He's looking right at the official. Do you see me? I've been hurt here. And then he flails his arms around, misses the ball. And so then he, goes in, right? So now he's looking at the ground, and, they know how to fall, right? When you play, sports, you learn how to fall and to brace his fall. And he rolls. And he's, already grabbing his shoulder. Right? He wasn't hurt. He goes back in the game, plays the game. He does this all the time. He's already grimacing and rolling around and rolling around. It's just so painful. Here's a better to see. Chris Paul's grabbing his arm here. So that's a foul. That isn't a, legal play. He's also a cheater. He's also cheating, right? He grabs his arm and pulls him down. But, not so much that it would have been hurt his arm, right? Look at the boys. LeBron is so much bigger than Chris Paul. He didn't, pull his shoulder. And he's flailing around here. And then he's already grabbing his arm. Look, he got my arm. He says, hurt my arm. My arm is hurt. He did something to my arm. Just pathetic. This was the game 2 days earlier against the Golden State Warriors. So I covered this game before, but I didn't show this. This is just another way of him acting. Draymond Green fouls him. There's a couple minutes left in the game. It's a little bit of a hard foul, but LeBron acts.
James, and he's fouled.
And he took sort of a hard fall here. All right, so that happens.
Draymond Green.
And he's rolling around the ground again. Just, this is a game 2 days ago. 2 days before the game where he had the other, massive shoulder injury.
Green would not let him get a layup.
So he's staying there. He's rolling around. Oh, my eyes, my eyes. My eyes. He did my eyes. Oh, my God, they're so bad. Oh, my eyes. Oh, my help, my eyes. Oh, my eyes. I'm unhurt. It was it's too much for me. Someone help me with my eyes. Oh, my eyes. It got me. He poked me in the eye. And what happens is they'll review this thing and see if it's a flagrant foul, which gives them an extra possession of the ball and extra foul shots, right? And if it's a flagrant 2, the guy gets tossed. So the other guy gets kicked out of the game. So he's constantly acting and doing this, and he gets to rest and things like this because he's old. And so it's a win-win for him, but it delays the crap out of the basketball game. I already think that the games are rigged or scripted to some extent, right? That they're not fair contests. And, I played basketball, so I still watch games, occasionally. But I tape them and I fast forward through all this kind of stuff. It happens all the time. The skill level in basketball has gone up, but the acting and the prima donna stuff has gotten worse and worse. And here he is just laying there. Oh, my God, you guys, this kicking his foot over here. He's in so much pain. And he's rolling around. Oh, man, it's just my eye. I mean, like, I can't take it anymore, right? He's kicking his foot there. I mean, this is just, they're like, yeah, LeBron. Like, they've seen it over and over again. Constantly working an angle. This is a guy who wants justice. This isn't justice. This is faking something, looking for victim consciousness and sympathy, and to gain some sort of advantage because of it. So this is the end of the game. There's 2 minutes left, and the referees go over to the monitor, and they watch the play over and over again to see if it was a flagrant foul. They said it wasn't, so he didn't win in this case, right? But it just delays the game, right? The last 2 minutes of the game, it just, wrecks the flow of the game, and it's him being a faker, right? Kicking his foot over here, just pathetic, just a pathetic actor. There's his coach who, whined about Chris Paul breaking LeBron James's arm with his aggressive play. And then a couple of basketball players, C.J. McCollum called LeBron the actor of the year, and he put a laughing until he cries emoji. And then Ben Simmons, another basketball player, put this up, which said the Oscar goes to. And so there's LeBron faking, like he just faked, like he got hit in the throat, and he didn't. You can see from the play. His throat, and then here.
There, Stanley Johnson, as he caught the ball and gathered himself before he.
Okay, we just saw the guy missed his head completely, right? Watch. You can see it right here.
As he caught the ball and gathered.
Missed his head completely, like, not even. And then he's like, he goes up. Oh, my head. And he held the wrong side of his head, right? He was holding the wrong side of his head. And this here, he just flaps backwards like he got hit in the face, like after the play.
And the Oscar goes to...
And this is something he constantly does. I'm going to come back to this because I'm going to finish up the other things I got to cover here. But I'm going to talk about why this is so bad, why it affects, just society in general, and somebody who claims to be a social justice warrior. This isn't justice. This is you gaming the system, you going, above and beyond the rules, and it isn't fair. Isn't fair to the fans and fellow players and children who look up to you and all these things. So stop whining about how the system is rigged against, whatever groups of people, and be an honest, good person, right? They're keeping their masks on. Their reasons extend beyond their health. People are now wearing masks even though they don't have to. I said this to my wife today. It seems like there are going to be people wearing masks forever. There's just going to be something they do. We see this in China. People in China, or sometimes they would travel to America, would wear masks all the time. And now it's something where people are just thinking it's a safety blanket, and they're doing it. They like their masks, and they're keeping them on. Way to go, humanity. And this thing, predator and prey, walking home after a whole day of acting for National Geo. And you can see here, all right, here comes the cougar, mountain lion. Wait, there's a deer. Like, they're walking right behind each other. They're like hanging out. The cougar eats deer, allegedly. So I don't even know what's going on here, right? Just a lot of acting. Is it all fake? Like, what's happening? Is everyone just an actor? Like, what? Am I the only person? Is this some experiment that's going on? There's like just a handful of us are living real lives and everything else is just staged around us. What's happening? So going back to LeBron James and acting, and I'm making these videos with the idea that he is saying that he's a social justice warrior and he wants police reform. He wants things to be fair. He wants to see things go in an honorable, honest way, and he doesn't act in an honorable, honest way himself. He is somebody who is gaming the game of basketball. He was somebody born with a tremendous amount of talent, right? He called himself the chosen one. And I talk about this in the comment video as well. There's no chosen people. There's no chosen, you're not the chosen one. There's no chosen people. Everybody has talents and abilities. Everybody has a path. But one person isn't chosen by God to be better than another. There's nothing like that. That's just a myth that people put out there, But he's arrogant enough to have the chosen one tattooed on his back. And, he has natural athletic abilities. He's tall, 6'8", and he's big. He's got a wide frame, strong, has good leaping ability, is fast, and has natural basketball instincts. So he is somebody that is gifted athletically. He has an advantage over most people playing basketball. And when you do play basketball or any sport, when you have more athletic talent, it shows. When you have, if you're the most athletically talented person, you're going to have advantages above other people. So you already have some physical and genetic advantages, right? And he has, a good marketing team, and he's structured himself as an influencer in the basketball world, and he's maybe the number one most prominent athlete. And so he has influence over the game that way. He gets special treatment in the NBA just for being a star. Because, Kobe Bryant, when one of his opponents said that Kobe Bryant received 2 fouls in the first quarter of a game and he became more aggressive defending someone, he said to the player, "They'll never call a third foul on me in the first quarter," right? Because people are paying to see him, and people want to see him who are watching the game on television because it's a star-driven league. And so they get special treatment because people want their stars to shine, or they want their stars to play well. And so it is, entertainment as well. So they rig it for the star. So LeBron has all these advantages already going into these basketball games. And he handpicks his team. He gets the players he wants around him. Like he just, he has a lot of advantages that most people don't have in their lives. A lot of privileges, right? Check your privilege, LeBron, right? And so he has all this stuff going into basketball games. But now he's added acting to that, right? And again, there's sponsorships. There's financial backing behind him. He's got, endorsement deals and all these things that benefits the league and the NBA and basketball in general. So there's all these reasons why LeBron, the powers that be in the basketball world want LeBron to be successful. And so again, he goes in and now he's acting and faking and being a liar and a cheater and working the officials and putting pressure on them to change calls, like I covered in my other video. You go back and watch that one from a couple days ago. I document him doing that, and 3 major plays he influenced the officials to give him an unfair call. And it happened, right? It happened right in front of everybody. And even Jeff Van Gundy said LeBron bullied his way into changing the call with the refs, and the refs made the wrong call. And one of his teammates got foul shots instead of taking the ball outside, which was fair. And there's the hypocritical nature of this thing, which is, him being a social justice warrior. But then there's him gaming the game that's done so much for him, wrecking the game. Because this wrecks the game. When you cheat, it wrecks the game. Sports is one of the few things that you have a definite winner, right? You have winners and losers, and you have resolution, instant resolution, right? And then there's the whole season, and there's a champion, and somebody wins and somebody loses, right? People like that resolution, and there's so little resolution now with everything going on in the world. Sports is something where, you can play a kid's game, and, there's going to be a winner and a loser, and you're competing and all of these things. But if you taint the game where people can look at it and say, you didn't deserve to win, or there was this unfair thing that happened, it makes people feel cheated when everyone's feeling cheated already, right? It taints the outcome, and then people are watching, right? They've invested their time, and they're not watching and, participating in this in terms of, being basketball fans, to watch you flop around and game the officials, and, the officials taking 3 minutes to review the video of what happened, and and hopefully make the right call and all these things, especially at the end of the game. You're just wrecking it for everybody with your selfishness, right? They're paying you to play the game and either win or lose and to accept it, you control freak, right? You like LeBron is somebody who probably has OCD, like he's obsessive compulsive. Eminem, like there's these people that have it that are really good at what they do because they're so obsessive about it, right? They work hard to succeed because they can't stand the thought of losing. LeBron's one of those people. And so, him doing this, and it's not just him, it's all these basketball players that are acting and exaggerating, and it wrecks the game for everybody. It makes it unwatchable. And then you add this hypocritical aspect of being social justice warriors when they're all trying to game and work the officials, right? Because that's what law enforcement is, like I said in the other video, right? When you have people who are there to enforce the rules and you're working them to make sure that you get some sort of advantage and force the officials or influence the officials into making a mistake in your favor, then you're a piece of crap, right? You're not like, you're wrecking the game. You're taking away from the game that you supposedly love and has been, LeBron's a billionaire, right? Have some respect for this craft of yours, right? It's a contest. Let it be a contest and stop working. It's something now, everybody does it. So it's, it's something that's, icky on all levels, right? I've been involved in that where you play pickup games where people will just cheat. They won't get fouled and they'll call a foul. And everyone's like, F you piece of crap, right? Fights break out. It just sucks. And, this is years ago. I haven't played basketball in years, but when people will call a foul when they don't get fouled, especially when it's at the end of the game, and you have to wait if you lose, right? Like if you lose the basketball game, you have to wait, and that sucks. Like it's just something that, you call next game, and so there's 15 people waiting, so that's 3 teams. And if you lose, they all have reserved the next 3 games. So it takes you 4 games. They take about half an hour or whatever, depending on what you're playing up to. So you might as well go home. So the competition, especially in a crowded basketball court, gets really intense. And people try to manipulate the game by calling fake fouls or just playing in a way, cheating. And it just wrecks the game. Years ago, in my second attempt at college, I played, we had a Division I basketball team at Central Connecticut State University, a small, kind of crappy Division I. And I used to play pickup games with the team. And they got a new coach who used to play for the Harlem Globetrotters or perform for them. And he was an old guy. He still had some skill level, probably, he's probably as old as I am now. And old guys are just, they just can't compete anymore, right? They don't have the ability, especially if it's a high-level competition. But he was calling fouls and just wrecking the game, stopping the game, and just manipulating the outcome. And he was on my team, and we were all like, just stop, right? You're just wrecking the game. Like, we won, but it sucked. Like, and again, not having to wait was great, but like I was like, I'm never going to play with that dude again. He just wrecks it, right? There was a time where I was waiting tables, and me and my coworkers decided to have a poker game after work. And so there's about 7 or 8 of us, and we all had cash from, waiting tables, right? We all had cash tips. And so, it was later after work, started at 10 o'clock, and, we were drinking and stuff, whatever it was. And I realized a couple of the guys were cheating. Like I could, I knew they were cheating without, I could tell by, I looked at them and we looked at each other. I was like, you scumbags. And they won an extra, I don't know, $40 or something, whatever it was. even if it was $100. And I couldn't prove they were cheating, but they weren't drinking. And I could tell that they were, like everyone sort of knew. A couple other people said, yeah, I think they were cheating. But it wasn't like something you could, they just deny it, right? But it was something we all knew. And we all disliked them after that. It was just like, small time stuff, like just being a small time person, like just, like it was pathetic. And like if they wanted me to cover their shifts or do them a favor, I'd be like, no, F you, we're not like cool, you're like cheaters. And so, this is what you do. You burn bridges and, you wreck games, you just destroy stuff. Like it was a fun poker game, but if a couple of people are, using it to make money and cheat their coworkers or whatever it is, like LeBron cheating the game, it just sucks. And those kind of people suck, right? Especially people like LeBron who have all these privileges and want more, all these greedy people. And then they come out and claim that they want, fair policing. Okay, chosen one, stop acting, right? Like everyone wants to be a victim. Everyone wants to claim victimhood or victim for their demographic or their group, but no one wants to take responsibility for, cheating other people and their poor character qualities. I mean, this is the heartfulness meditation where you have to work on your character qualities. I cover this, in depth in the comment video, so I'm not going to talk about it here. But it's something where people have to be better people inside and take responsibility for what they're doing wrong instead of, always pointing the finger. Only spirituality will save this world. It's Paul Romano, definitely reporting for the Apocalaughs and the Ascension. Everyone have a blessed day and be grateful.